Hey, what's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Cans Pats Talk Pitches podcast. It is Thursday, the beginning of April the 2nd, tomorrow, April the 3rd. Got some things going on this weekend. We're still waiting on the A.J. Brown news to drop for the Patriots. Probably going to drop. We're going to get into all that during the show, but I got a good friend of mine on, Walt Stringer, big time Detroit Lions content creator. He also does he has his podcast, Detroit Lions Avenue. So I'm gonna bring him in so we can talk to you guys a few about that. He's a big time draft guy. We're gonna talk about his mock draft. We're gonna put his mark up, talk about that and any other draft questions you guys may have. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the Cans Pats Talk Pitches podcast. Make sure you are sharing the content. Also, make sure you turn those post notifications on for when we do go live. D, what's going on with you, man?
What's up, bro?
Not much, not much. Also, this show is powered by the Sportsline Media, man. Make sure you go to www.sportslinemedia.com and check out the website. Also, the website, we got some new merchandise up. We got hoodies, vests, sweaters, shirts, hats, everything. Make sure you go over there, www.sportslinemedia.com. Make sure you go check that out over there, man. Hey, man, we still waiting on the A.J. Brown news to talk. To drop. We talked about it earlier this week in the show. Who knows when that's going to happen? We're probably waiting post June for that. But we're going to talk a little bit about that with Walt. We're also going to we'll recap the Patriots season. I didn't have us in the suit, but I'm sure my boy Walt.
Me, that's him.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. He kind of say, is he froze?
Yeah, look like he froze up. He froze up.
Ah, man,
Ah,
come on.
the avatar's up. Hey,
He'll be
so
back
hey
shortly.
man, what's good with y'all, man? I'm not
Man,
I'm not the Patriots hater. A lot of people are, man.
uh,
I
who
recognize, yeah, like I said, I recognize what's real, man.
who
A
you
lot of
like?
people think y'all gonna go back to. Well, of course, I'm the Detroit. I'm all Detroit, so
Ah,
I'm repping the Lions. But how do y'all feel, man? Well, at least personally, how do you feel in regards to people saying that y'all was a fluke? Y'all was a one hit wonder. They gonna go back to being a 5-win team next season. What do you really
yeah,
make of that?
yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, if you was to ask people at the beginning of last year, would our record be what it was at the ending of the year, which was what 14-3? Everybody would have laughed if we would have said that was our record was going to be before all the schedule talk. I mean, we was a 4-13 team the previous year, and people don't want to look at that like this is a team that was just 4-13 last year. I mean, I get I get that the rebuild was faster than expected, but I still look at it as a rebuilding phase. I mean, my expectations personally ain't to get back to the Super Bowl. It's stay steady, stay consistent, keep building. I mean, because we've been paying so back from these previous draft picks. I mean, you go look at the Drake May draft. I mean, he's the only person from that draft class that's actively playing on the team from last year. So, I mean, we still in the rebuilding phase. I don't really pay attention to what a lot of people be saying about the cupcake schedule, the frauds, and all the other stuff people like to say about us and whatnot.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. It's the NFL. It's not like it's college football. Y'all not playing in the MAC. Y'all not playing Division II football. Like these are all NFL teams. And like I tell people, winning 14, 15, 16 straight games ain't easy. Not in the NFL. And because it was funny how a lot of people said, well, New England had a weak schedule. Like y'all played the same team Seattle played, wasn't it?
It was
For the, for the,
majority.
for the, yeah. So it's like to me, a lot of it is wishful thinking. I don't see how you can now. Can it happen? Sure. I mean, my Detroit Lions went 15-2, lost in the divisional round, and haven't been back anywhere since. So is it possible in this day and age that a team can peak really early then fall off? Yeah, it's possible. It's obvious. We've seen it happen to tons of teams, but I just think New England's different. Like this ain't to your average shitty organization, flash in the pan that just got hot and went to a Super Bowl and never been nowhere before. Like this is a elite organization. You got an elite head coach. Regardless of in regards to
The Walt freeze up.
Yeah.
He'll be back. Just to pick up right there on what Walt was saying, I think they can replicate it. They can come back and do the same thing they did this past year because for one, a lot of guys that they signed last year they didn't re-sign. They let them walk. So you're gonna have some fresh people in there, some fresh bodies up in there. You're not gonna have a same stagnant core that you had last year. They have not re-signed as of right now. That Thayer Mumford is still out there, the tackle they re-signed during the season. The Patriots have not re-signed none of their guys yet that were free that they brought in last year. They still got Harold Linger under contract, Milton Wilson, guys like that. Now talking about the guys that were signed to multiple year contracts, but the other like the guys that were 1 year did a lot of them, they have not re-signed them. That's what the Commanders did. They re-signed them as they signed a lot of 1 year deal guys, but then they brought them back, and they were a veteran team. So to what Walt was saying, I think this Patriots team can get back to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna sit here and go out and just say it's gonna be this year, but I definitely think they have a team to get back because Vrabel, the team, the chemistry, the mindset, the culture, and the fact that Walt, you didn't hear, but we are look at what the Commanders did. They had that good season a couple years ago, got to the NFC Championship game, lost to the Eagles. They brought a lot of those guys back, older guys, and then it got stagnant. They couldn't really do. They got injuries, couldn't really do much. The Patriots, we didn't bring back Chase on, didn't bring back Tonga, we let Stephon Diggs go. We let a lot of guys. We didn't re-sign a lot of those guys that helped us get to the Super Bowl this year. We brought in a Draymond Jones from the Titans and the Ravens. Brought in a Reggie Gilbert from Buffalo. We got Romeo Dawson. We got some fresh blood, and we got some fresh. We got some younger guys in there. We got some. I think some of the guys we brought go are better than the ones that we let go. So I do think that we can replicate that. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna have what we win 14, 15 games. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna do that. I think we can be a better team, but don't win as many games as we want. You can be a better team, but you still didn't get to Super Bowl, or your season ends early, or you didn't win all the games. You can still win 10, 11 games, and you look better than what you did this season. Because the schedule's tough. We got to play the NFC North. You got to play the AFC West. You got to play Buffalo twice. You got a lot of it's not going to be. You're not going to have the same injury luck this year. You're not going to have that same luck this year. The ball ain't going to bounce your way this year. Last year the ball bounced. It was going too perfect. Like we got to the Super Bowl, I was like, dang, this is too good to be true. Like, are we really about to win? BC? Like it was going too perfect last year. I hate it came, and I'm still going through. I hate it came to an end at the when it did about a month or so ago, about 2 months ago. But I feel like it had like we met our match in Seattle with it because it was just going too perfect. I mean, late comeback win. You're not going to go to Buffalo now. You and Josh Allen, May and Allen, they go back and forth for the next decade. Drake man gonna make those same throws on Sunday Night Football, pinpoint to Stephon. Like that's not gonna happen like that again. You know what I mean? The ball ain't like the way he shrugged off the guy. I forgot who it was, the defensive end. That ain't gonna happen again. It's just you're not gonna have that same look.
It
Yeah, but
might, man.
yeah, but
Listen, y'all might just be good. I look at y'all like this, man. Y'all the most steady team in that division. If you want to keep it 100.
okay.
Now, Josh Allen's still the best player in that division. He's still one of the best players, top 5 players in the league, but he got a new head coach.
Yeah.
They still trying to figure out his offensive line as well as his weapons.
Yeah.
His clock is ticking. Now, Josh ain't going nowhere. Josh, one of them players, look, that right arm ain't going nowhere.
Right.
His health ain't going nowhere. He stay healthy. He's a big tough. He's one of those Brett Favre dudes who I'm an alien for the most part. I'm big, I'm strong, I'm tough. This right arm, I'm gonna be able to throw it 80 yards when I'm 40. Like, so Josh Allen's not going anywhere, but Buffalo on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets still can't get out of their own way. The Jets might be in a
Yeah.
situation where they looking for a new head coach, bro, in
Yeah.
another year.
Yeah.
And drafting a new young quarterback. Miami is completely rebuilding. They ain't just redoing the kitchen or whatever or the bathroom. They getting a
turned the
new
whole
roof,
thing up.
new hot
Going.
water tanks. They getting a new basement. Everything put in. So if you're
Yeah.
looking at it for what it is, why wouldn't y'all be back? Like in
Right.
all truthfulness, y'all should be back.
I think you look at the conference. Baltimore will be back, but Lamar got a new coach. Mahomes
Yeah,
coming off an injury. You don't know if he's going to play, if he's going to start the season. The Texans, you saw we get. I think you speaking of people on the clock, Stroud's on the clock. I think Stroud's on the clock. I really believe that. So who else? I mean, 1 year won the Aaron Rodgers in the Steelers. I like what the Steelers did this offseason, but I don't know. I mean, I think you bring in Mike McCarthy, but you get rid of Tomlin. It's kind of like I didn't get that move. The Chargers, Herbert,
yeah.
we see where Herbert is in the playoffs. Like, so, I mean, so who in the AFC that's just going to surprisingly, I mean, that's going to do it? I mean, the Burrow can't stay
Kansas
healthy
City.
with the Bengals, huh?
Kansas City. I mean, if you give Kansas City the credit, the organization, you can guarantee they about to get an elite player picking where they picking at. Now, whether it's a defensive player or it's a tight end or it's a wide receiver, I personally, and we when we get into my mock draft, you'll see I got them taking another tackle because I feel
Mm,
like they hit on Simmons,
yeah,
the left tackle they got out of Ohio State last year. I think he's the guy. He's the rock at left tackle for the next 10 years for them. Um, Now the tackle that I got them going now, whether they go in a different direction, that tackle is different. But I just think that if you're talking about rebuilding Kansas City, moving forward on the fly and maximizing Patrick Mahomes' next window, you got to protect him. Let's be honest. You either gonna give him a stud running back. That's if a Jeremiah Love falls there or whatever, because you're not taking
mm,
nobody else at that spot. You could draft a Kenyon Sadiq and have him study under Kelsey for 1 year before he takes over. Or one of the better wide receivers may fall to them. But if you're Kansas City, you've been burned at wide receiver so much.
yeah,
Well, it's kind of their fault though, because they kind of typecast themselves. They've been chasing the Tyreek Hill replacement ever since they got rid of him. And those type of dudes don't grow on trees. They then swung and missed a lot of wide receivers. So Kansas City about to wouldn't shock me if Kansas City is right back there in contention next season.
yeah. And then just to build on that right there, my thing with see we when Mahomes started out years ago, I remember he had his first start. I want to say when he played here, it was his first start at the end of the season against Broncos years ago. But in that next season, I remember watching that game against him and the Steelers. It might have been the week one that year. But Kansas City has been consistent with their success. Josh Allen, much as I hate the Bills and they're in our division, they've been in the playoffs, but every year they've been consistent. So we're going to find out early, was it a 1 year wonder for the Patriots, or can they maintain like the Bengals? They went to Super Bowl, they've been out the playoffs. They lost a couple times in the playoffs. Burrow's been hurt. Like, you know what I mean? They just been in and out. We're going to like Lamar and the Ravens. They've been in the playoffs, then they've been out. They've missed the playoffs a couple times up under Lamar. I hope we're more like Buffalo. Because Bills, ever since Allen been there, they've been in the playoff. They've been a playoff team for the most part. So we're gonna find out early. I want to see like we don't have to, I'm not gonna say we got to win the Super Bowl. I want to see, can we build on its success? Can we keep competing for division? Getting because we're gonna find out early, like was it a 1 year wonder, or can they be consistent, a playoff team winning double digit games every year? That's what I want to see this year. That's my expectation right now. Now talk to me after the draft about whether we're gonna win the division or Super Bowl or not. But right now, I just want to see, can we continue on and build on and be consistent, or we just gonna be one of these 1 year winners? Because Buffalo, as much as we hate them, they in the playoffs every year. They get to the AFC title game, they always in it. They've been consistent up under Josh Allen. They drafted pretty good. Now let's see if the Patriots can do. Because you got a tough schedule this year. You got to go to Kansas City. You got to go to Denver. I think you got some tough schedule. So nobody can't say nothing about the schedule this year. I mean, you only can play. You can't. So I kind of like that. Okay, nobody can make the excuse about the schedule. And like I was just telling D, I think we can. Like I was just saying, I think we can be a better team, but not win 15 or 14, 15 games like we just won this past year. I still think we could be a better team.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like what y'all was saying about Ken, how you were saying about the AFC. I do kind of think now that I look at it, it's still kind of a tad bit open. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, you can't just like Drake May having the MVP season always gonna. I feel like if he continued to play at that level, he was only in his second year last year. He always keep you in the window where you just feel like you got a chance as long as he at quarterback. And like people talking about the schedule and stuff. I mean, he was the only all pro bowler offensive player we had on the team. So I mean, I feel like all these quarterbacks in the league, either they got a dominant running back or a number one receiver. I feel like we Drake May, he ain't have that last year. I mean, I get the schedule is easy with playing teams with their quarterbacks out or terrible team, a tanking team, and it was just looking so easy to where people was like, oh, they easy schedule. So I feel like I agree. I think the AFC is wide open. Like Walter said, I do think the Chiefs, you still gotta keep your eye on them because
Yeah,
as long as Pat Mahomes healthy, I mean, they got high draft picks. I mean, they can take a receiver there. They
yeah,
got two first round draft picks too. I
yeah.
just realized that. So I feel like they Chiefs Chiefs. I think Denver with that defense and them adding Waddle, you can't rule them out. Josh Allen, I mean, he's still in our division as well, and
You going nowhere.
They picked up DJ Moore, which I think is a great, piece for his play style. So I mean, it's gonna be fun this year, man, especially with the schedule.
Well, real quick before we move on to the draft, if we were to now, as previously as currently constructed, I think we still a playoff team and probably can win the division. If we and now you're not crazy, the rumors is out there with AJ Brown. If the Patriots were to add an AJ Brown, where would you put the Patriots at in just the AFC in terms of the teams? And do you think they're a Super Bowl contender if they add like an AJ Brown?
I think it would help out a lot. I still believe that, and I love Travion Henderson. I don't know what happened to Travion Henderson down the stretch of the
Yeah,
season, but even as a Michigan fan, I was a fan of Travion Henderson at Ohio State for years, bro.
right.
So he he started out really really good for y'all, even in the preseason, early in the season. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not that close to the team, so I don't know what happened in the playoffs or whatnot. But him and Ramondre Stevenson. But it's like, where's the juice? Like
Mm-hmm.
when I look at New England, it's like, where's the juice, bro? Like where's the flat? Not necessarily the flash, but where's that guy, the playmaker on the perimeter,
That's
like
gonna
the
keep people
Jordan
up at two.
Tyson.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily Kenyon Sadiq because I'm not really that sold on Kenyon Sadiq. But even him, I could understand. Like if he was there when you guys pick, I could understand if they went in that direction because I think the offense really needs somebody to game plan for. Um,
How you feel
Now I
about
gave y'all
Romeo
the
Dobbs?
offensive lineman.
You in the division with Romeo Dobbs. How you feel about Dobbs?
Not often healthy, inconsistent. I
Mm-hmm.
thought he showed flashes,
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Like Green Bay loved that type of wide receiver. If you look at their wide receiver room, all them dudes like 6 foot,
yeah,
5'11", maybe 6'1" at the tallest. They all like 195 to 205. They all run the same exact route tree. Like they got except for Christian Watson. Like outside of Christian Watson, they got a bunch of Romeo Dobbs clones in
yeah,
Green Bay. But I think he's a good player, but he's another guy I think that just fits into the room with what you guys have,
yeah,
you know. And I think Drake May, even outside of like maybe needing some offensive line help, Drake May needs somebody now that he can, seriously depend on. Not somebody he can lock in on and ignore the offense, but somebody that he can go to in the tight jam, somebody that he can trust. Now you guys have never really had that outside of drafting Randy Moss. You guys drafted some wide receivers and swung and missed. I
trading
remember
for
the
Randy
Chris Jackson.
Moss.
Yeah, I remember. What's his name? Chris Jackson, the
Chad
wide
Jackson.
receiver Chad Jackson from
Chad
Florida. I
Jackson.
thought Chad was gonna be a star too.
Mm-hmm.
Chad didn't work, but you guys, swung and missed on some wide receivers. But even outside of offense, I think kind of overachieved a little bit on defense. Christian Gonzalez is a bona fide star. He was my number one corner coming
I
out of the
remember
draft.
that.
Milton Williams was worth every penny y'all paid him. Barmore on the interior. I think y'all set on the interior, the
Carlton
defensive
Davis
line.
out there.
Yeah, I like Carlton too. He getting a little longer the tooth,
Yeah,
but so could you guys use another corner? Sure. Maybe safety, a playmaking safety. Uh, but I think you guys need a difference maker in that front seven.
mm,
Outside of defensive tackle wise, y'all smooth. Like I said, I
yeah,
like Milton Williams. I like
yeah.
Christian Barmore. I think they complement each other perfectly. But if you guys had somebody in that front seven that could wreak some hell, a game record, I think that would help you guys out a lot also.
Moving on to the draft. And speaking of us juice, I think our number one needs edge rushers. Now we're gonna pull up your mark here shortly, but what you think? Where you think the meat is in this draft? Like, where you think the best group is in this draft? What would you say? Like, what's basically your overall opinion on this draft?
I'm not as down on the draft as a lot of people are. A lot of people give their opinions on the draft based upon how strong the quarterback class is, and this QB class isn't that strong. There's some backups, I believe, some career backups, or some guys who put in the right situation. And I think this is kind of where the direction the NFL is going in now. It's too hard to find the unicorns. Like being out there chasing those waterfalls is going to get you drowned eventually. Everybody chasing Josh Allen, chasing Patrick Mahomes, chasing Lamar Jackson. Finding those guys is difficult. So I think a lot of teams are understanding if you can build a damn good roster and then find you a quarterback that's smart that can just distribute the football, be a Rajon Rondo out there, be a Chris Paul out there. Like I'm not out there to really to score, but I can for damn sure get the ball in the hands of the guys who can score. That's kind of all you need right now. And I think the wide receiver class is not top heavy, but I think there's a lot of good depth there. Ted Hurst out of Georgia
Mhm.
State is a guy I think that I don't know if he's on you guys visits. I know he's on the Raiders visit. He's on.
I
He
don't
got
think we haven't visited with him yet.
Yeah, but there's a lot of quality wide receivers. As usual, every year you can find athletic tight ends who can catch the football. You can always plug a guy in there. You can get a tight end in the second round, third, fourth round who could turn out to be a star. Um, Defensive back. I think there's a lot of high quality defensive backs as well. I love Bud Clark from TCU, 6'2" safety, plays with his hair on fire. Um, Super athletic, makes a lot of plays on the football. A guy who's always around the ball. So wherever you're looking for, and even Cassius Howe, another edge rusher, whatever your overall taste is when it comes to edge rushers, whether you like undersized, smaller guys who can double as 3-4 outside linebackers, weak side. If you want a traditional edge rusher, a throwback guy like Keldrick Faulk, I call him an old school 4-3 defensive end. He's a supersized guy. Is he a three technique? Is he an edge rusher? Is he a wide nine guy? He's a guy that can provide a lot of versatility, I believe. But you guys had a guy like him in Keon White. I don't know
Yeah.
if why things didn't really necessarily work out with Keon White, but I don't want to see you guys with that anymore. Like New England stereotypically has drafted that type of guy.
He's some juice.
6'6", 265, 270. He's not truly an edge rusher, but he's too undersized to play three tech. So it's like, what is it? He's another rotational guy that just moves around on our defensive line but doesn't do anything great.
Hmm.
Like I said, a guy like Cassius Howell, you got protection for him. That's one thing. And I think
Yeah,
if he's a guy that goes to a situation where he just put out there and expect to just go after the quarterback, he'll get swallowed up.
yeah,
Because we saw him go through that a lot at Texas A&M against a lot of quality offensive tackles. But if you got two space eaters in the middle of
mhm,
the defensive line like you guys have, yeah, now you're cooking with a guy like that. But
yeah,
he's a guy who can purely get after the quarterback. Malachi Lawrence,
yeah,
also a UCF. He is one of the better pure pass rushers in this draft. Not that good against the run, but if you're talking about a guy that can just get after the quarterback, he's another one of those guys too.
real quick. D, go ahead, Dan.
What you think about R. Mason Thomas?
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
about to ask you.
Right now, one trick pony. Now it's one hell of a trick
Yes.
because he can get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's
who you
that ain't sound all that good,
who you think
but no,
out of him and Cassius Howell, like who would you prefer?
For the Patriots.
I'm a big Cassius Howell fan though.
Yeah.
So I've been all season. I like his temperament. I like the edge he plays with. He plays with a high motor. The effort is there. I understand that the arms are short. They very short. They're shorter than what the NFL really wants to accept. But if you just go back and you look at the tape, I understand a lot of the sacks he got came against lesser competition. But if you go back to him at Bowling Green, like he's a double-digit sack guy. So
Yeah.
it is he did it in Texas A&M system, which is funny because a lot of those Texas A&M edge rushers and defensive linemen over the past few years haven't panned out at all. He's been the one that has actually put forth the production. And I view it like this: Shamar Stewart wasn't half the football player Cassius Howell is, but he went top 20 because he's built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. Let's
Yeah.
really be honest about it. Dude had what, 2.5 sacks in 3 years?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And went in the top 20.
Yeah, it
Crazy.
was crazy.
But I gotta hear
Combine,
about
man.
yes, but Cash is how a dude who had I think the year before last he fell 1 sack short of a double-digit sack season. Cash is how had almost 3 straight seasons of double-digit sacks, but I
Yeah.
gotta hear about his arm short.
Mhm.
Like, come on, bro.
People don't start talking about that until like the combine, and I'm like,
Yeah,
didn't you
like
like this
look
dude
at Ruben
before all that?
Bain.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Ruben Bain slander is getting crazy, man. I thought he was a top 3 draft pick throughout his whole last year in college.
Yeah.
Until the combine, everybody want to bring up the arm length. Well, he might fall out the top 10. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
You got
Well, this the tight end class, it's a good tight end group, man. They say it's the deepest in years, man. And I'm thinking Patriots probably double dip. Now I haven't seen your whole full 7th round mark. We're gonna put up your just your 1st round mark here shortly. What you think about this tight end class? Give me some under radar names that we probably a lot of people not even talking about. I like Sam Roush. I like Oscar Delp, and my boy from Ohio State, Claire. I like that.
that's
I like those three. But I mean, it's a lot. I mean, you can get a good starting or a good contributing tight end on late day 3. I think.
definitely. One guy, even though he's not really under the radar guy, but Eli Stowers of
Yeah,
Vanderbilt. You talking about a dude who catch machine. More of a hybrid build, not the typical tight end size. He's what, 6'4", 235, but that's kind of what they want now. They want a guy who he's too big for corners to cover. He's too quick and athletic for a lot of safeties. He's too
yeah,
big for a lot of safeties. He's a complete mismatch, and he's a guy who caught a lot of footballs. Now he did have a quarterback that force fed him the football a lot in Diego Pavia, which is gonna be interesting to see if he gets drafted or not. He's an interesting character, bro. Very interesting character. But Justin Jolly also. Now this is another one
hey,
of those guys with a weird build.
yeah,
6'3", 260 pounds, bro. But he's another catch machine. He's a guy who, as you can imagine, safeties can't handle him,
yeah,
corners can't handle him, linebackers can't handle him. If you're talking about a guy who can just always, if you look at him at NC State and he didn't have any real quarterback play at all
yeah,
at NC State, he was their offense for the most part, but he finds all of those soft spots in the zone. He's always getting open underneath, and he's a pretty good chain mover. Let me go back to my board. Also, another guy, Michael Trigg.
I was just about
Michael
to say
Trigg
that.
of
I was just about to say that.
yeah,
He looks like a wide receiver to
six
me. He
four.
moved. Yeah, he looks like a wide receiver.
Yeah, yeah, 6'4", 245, I believe. Has some drops, has some concentration issues a little bit at Baylor.
Yeah,
But when you look at the potential, I was watching one of his games. Might have been the Oregon game, but he he has a very uncanny ability as a tight end to adjust the footballs like he's a wide receiver. Almost Michael Pitts-esque. Now he's not as athletic as Michael Pitts. Not Michael Pitts, Kyle Pitts.
yeah.
He's not, to that level. It's not the talent coming out of Florida that Pitts was, but he's a solid project. A guy that I think that if you want to use him in that hybrid role, move him around a lot, spread him outside, put him in the slot, line him up in the backfield a little bit. You can get him the football a lot. I think he's a guy that's full of potential as well.
Go ahead, D.
yeah. So yeah, basically what you said, Ken, like about double dipping at tight end. I really like Oscar Delp. I felt like the dude is an athletic freak, and I don't know if he's a real good run blocker. I've been seeing a lot of people saying I've been seeing like mixed things about it, but from what I've seen, he's a decent enough run blocker. Um, 6'5", fast, athletic, vertical, all that stuff. Like today's tight ends, you know, athletic freaks and stuff like that. If I was the Patriots, like I want them to do, I want them to go like with an Oscar depth and like I go like Justin Jolie. What's his name? Justin Jolie.
Jolly.
Yeah, from NC State.
I was
Like,
thinking more like Sam Roush and Michael Trigg, or
well,
Sam Roush. Yeah,
something like that. A guy that's like known for blocking, then a guy that's pass catching.
Sam
Because I
Roush
mean,
he looks like he looks like a Vrabel guy. He
yeah,
does.
because Hunter Henry contract is up after this year, so
Yeah,
that's what I'd do if I was them at tight end double dip like that.
Well, you also got you guys hear me?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you also got Tanner Kazoil. I don't
Yeah.
understand why Tanner Kazoil is as low as a lot of people have him. It's weird. It's like y'all don't understand these 6'6",
Tall
six
as I don't
seven,
know
two
what.
fifty wide these tight ends. They're taking over now, bro.
it
They,
is.
they they really are. But you talking about another catch machine, a guy with a massive catch radius, catches everything. Now the routes, of course, isn't what they really should be. But when you're talking about 6'7", 250 with excellent hands, you're talking about throwing to a billboard. For the most part, like how much separation do you want me to do at 6'7", two
Right,
fifty,
right.
bro? That's not my skill set, bro. That's I hate when people see these tight ends and wide receivers and say, yeah, well, he's 6'5", like Malachi Fields. And I actually talked
I
about
like
to
him.
somebody about him, yeah, for New England. I'm like, you know what? If you're looking for 6'4", 222, didn't run fast, like I said, what the hell y'all expect from that? Everybody's not gonna be Calvin Johnson.
Right.
But if you're talking about somebody who he remind me a lot of Brandon Marshall in a sense of,
Yep.
you know what,
That's a
I
good
That's
don't
a
one.
good
separate
comp,
that much.
actually.
Good comp.
I don't separate that well, but my body position is elite. My ball skills is elite. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you, and I'm a fight for every football.
Yep.
And I know how to high point the ball. It's still a lot of room in the NFL for receivers like that. Now, can he always be your main wide receiver? Maybe not. But if you're talking about somebody that can help Drake May erase some mistakes, somebody that can bail him out of some situations, DB's caught hell with Malachi Fields, bro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the past couple years, as you would expect for the most part.
Well, Denzel Boston. Now I'm a big Denzel, but my two draft crushes this year, Denzel Boston or Mason. As long as we get one of them, I don't care what we do the rest of the draft. Those are my two. Like if it
Yeah.
was up to me, I'd do something like the Texans did a couple years ago with Will Anderson and Stroud. I'd take probably Boston at 31, and I'd come right back up and get R. Mason Thomas. And I'd go to sleep for 2 days and I'd be happy with the draft. I won't care what else we do. But this one my thing with Boston right quick. I saw a comp today. And this might be a little bit before, well, probably not before your time. You probably don't remember this player. I seen a comp for Denzel Boston, Miles Austin from the Cowboys. How you feel about that?
Right. Could they both light skin?
I don't know about that. I don't
People
know.
be killing me with these comparisons,
But
man.
but look though, when I heard it, when I saw it earlier, I kind of. Do you remember Miles Austin from the
I
Cowboys?
remember Miles with Cal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was asking D. I see it though, not the scan. We ain't getting to the scan thing, but I see it though. I definitely can see it though. I was thinking more like I seen some Mike Evans in him a little bit, and people say he's gonna be Keon Coleman the kid. No, this is not the same guy. I don't know. Like they tried to do that with Ted McMillan last year. Ted start the drop. He start the drop. We kept going to the draft. He fell a little bit, but then look at the season he just had, one rookie of the year. And I think they're doing the same thing to Boston. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be better than Ted, what we saw from Ted, but I think his ceiling can be where Ted is. Where are you at on Denzel Boston? Can you hear me?
You talking to me or him?
Yeah, you. What?
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking to him. Yeah. Listen, I've been high on Boston for a minute. The only thing with him, he got working against him outside of the lack of separation. He does have the drops.
I didn't know he had
You know,
drops.
he's added. Yeah, he did have not so much this season, but prior he did. So you talk about the inconsistent ball skills for that matter. He kind of I ain't gonna say he's not completely stiff, but if you're talking about him being able to sink his hips in and out of his breaks, really being able to sail those routes, he kind of struggles with that a little bit. He does play upright like Mike Evans. That's what I say. They both got that up and down, straight, narrow type of body, more of a basketball type of body for that matter. But He another dude hasn't finished growing into his body. Very competitive downfield for the football. Can make a lot of contested catches, difficult catches. They gave him a lot of screens at Washington, and he showed you what he can do after the catch at Washington. But it's something weird about them Washington players, man. Like they be super athletic and then get to the NFL and then even dude the Washington basketball players outside of Markel folks, but like a lot of those dudes too. It's something about them Washington players where they be so highly regarded, and then when they get to the league, they just vanish. Like Levon Wuzarike, he a guy that just hurt me bad here in Detroit. Um,
Jalen
Joe
Polk.
Try Joe Tryon,
Yeah.
he's done nothing in Tampa.
He's in
Who was the
Philly
other
now.
big under? Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's on his second team now. Matter of fact, but
Yeah.
I've heard some analysts bring that up about it. Like, and it's a real thing. I believe when you play for a school that has a reputation of bust, GMs start to think about that. Like, yeah, he's good, but he played for that school. So like we don't like that really does go on. That really does go on. Like there were people when Calvin Johnson came out of college, and it just never made sense to me. It was obvious that as a true freshman, I told people like this dude, when he get to the NFL, everybody in trouble. When this dude get to the NFL, like some guys you can see it. Adrian Peterson, you can see it as a true freshman. Like when he gets to the league, everybody in trouble. Julio Jones, like there's certain players that you can see that in, but there were people who said, well, Calvin went to Georgia Tech. Why did he go to Georgia Tech? And he played with Reggie Ball. He played with a poor quarterback, and Georgia Tech ain't known for wide receivers and all this other stuff. Well, Calvin Johnson is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Period. So sometimes you got to look at the player itself and not just always look at the helmet. But like I'm a big Boston fan.
Yeah.
If y'all took him, I've seen some rumors about him possibly being the first receiver off the board. That there's some GMs, some owners, that some scouts that like him better than Jordan Tyson. Well, Jordan Tyson has the health issues too,
Yeah.
working
Now,
against him.
now looking at
Yeah,
your before we get into your mark real quick, two more receivers. 'Cause you know I love my wide receivers. Jacoby Lane and what's my boy from Indiana? Elijah Sarah. Where are you at currently on both of those guys? I love Sarah. I think you probably can get him on late day 2. Jacoby Lane maybe day 3. Everybody was looking at Mekhi Lemon went at USC, but I think Jacoby Lane stood out a lot to me. And I don't hear nobody talking about Lane. He's young too. He probably can get a little bigger, get a little more in the weight room. But I mean he's a 50-50 catch machine. We talked about Malachi Fields, but Lane don't get no separation. I don't even think
no,
none
he
of
don't.
us could. Yeah, he wouldn't even separate from us. I don't even think we'll separate from us, bro. He don't get no separation. But I do look. I think Lane's a good fit for the pass. Maybe you might get him on day 3. I love what you said about Malachi
Yeah,
Fields. My number one option, Denzel Boston. But I like a lot. I had Sirach graded higher than Cooper. These are good. Cooper. He like Cooper from Indiana. I like a lot of Sirach. But I felt like Sirach was a little better than Cooper. That's early on in the process. I felt that's what I felt. But where are you at on Jacoby Lane and Elijah Sirach?
Jacoby started turning some heads. I think when he got to the Senior Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, that's when people saw the height, the frame. Because in a lot of those situations, you see these guys on TV. A lot of guys make their money at the Senior Bowl off looks alone. And you look at Jacoby, he fits the physical profile, but then you look at him like, well, why didn't you produce more at USC? And then you look at truth, I think Zachariah Branch is the best out of all of them
You
at
just said the
USC.
version. We had Poopa on a couple weeks ago. He said the same thing. He said that Zachariah
Yeah,
Branch could have been a first rounder, like one of a top 10 pick or something like that.
dude is like a souped up version of Steve Smith. Almost like he's way
Okay.
more athletic than Steve, like as far as explosiveness, the 40 time, the vert, the broad jump. You look at how explosive he runs his routes, he's always open.
I can see
He's
him
more
going to
explosive
the
than Makai
Rams.
Lemon.
I can see him going to a team like the Chiefs or the Rams for Zachariah
Yeah.
Branch.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if somebody looked at Branch early in the second and said, I'm gonna take a chance on that over Burks, over Deion Burks of
Mm.
Oklahoma. Because Deion's another guy, but it's hard with these wide receivers
I
because
like
you look at
Burks.
them and you're projecting. It's like, damn, like, okay, Burks played with no good quarterback at Purdue, produced a little bit, transferred to Oklahoma. And what's my man name to wear the headband that played decent during the regulars early in the season, and the quarterback that who just fell off a cliff
For who?
down the strip for the quarterback for Oklahoma.
John Mateer.
Um, Mateer?
Yeah, John Mateer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Deion Burks, I was high on Deion Burks last year, but it's weird because like and Chris Sims brought up a valid point about Burks. As athletic as you are, how come you never return kicks? And you would think that at 5'9", 5'10", 4'3", 40, you would be tailor made for special teams, returning kicks, but he never returned kicks at Purdue, and he never did it at Oklahoma. So, but in regard, well, I trailed off a little bit, but getting back to the guys you talking about, I actually like Omar Cooper better,
Okay.
and I think it's about
Who does
what are
he
you
remind
using him
you of?
for? Probably a better receiving version of Debo,
Yeah.
because Debo was never really a wide receiver to me when he was at South Carolina. Omar Cooper is a guy who you could throw him a quick screen. He might stiff arm one dude. He might lower the shoulder on another dude and carry them. And like he's that type of like Anquan Bolden. He's kind of like he's not, he doesn't weigh as much as Bolden. Bolden, I believe, when he came out of Florida State, he was 6', 6'1", 214, something like that, built like that. But Cooper's a guy, and you look at his body type, Cooper probably gonna get to around 210. So, you're talking about a tough wide receiver who can make things happen after the catch. Surratt was better downfield, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Another guy
yeah,
he don't
stylistically, I
separate.
just kind of like Omar Cooper a little bit better.
Moving on to your mark, man. I see it and a couple things stand out to me. Okay, where we at? Where we I just saw it. Okay, you think David Bailey gets to Baltimore at 14? I
I
like the
think it's
fit, but
possible if
I like the fit, but I'm like, do you think he gets to Baltimore there at 14?
well, for me, I kind of did this entire mock based upon what I would do in all of these team situations. And if you just go through, okay, so he's at
With,
14.
with Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the teams ahead, okay, Rams, they invested a lot in edge rushers over the past few years. They not taking another edge rusher. Dallas could, but
Mhm.
Dallas also needs DB help bad.
Yeah,
You look at a guy like Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman is a guy who could also be there for them, a playmaking safety.
right.
Sonny Styles to Cincinnati. I don't think they would double down on edge rusher again. I think they will continue to build that defense from the defensive line, moving back because they got some decent um, D backs over there. Kansas City is possible,
Yeah, I can see
but if you
Kansas.
look at Kansas City, I just think that if you look at the value for these players and the picks, Kansas City needs a guy like Francis Mwagwa a little bit more than I think they need David Bailey. Just being honest about it. The Saints as well, they need juice on offense. Their
Yeah,
problem was they couldn't score at all last season. They
yeah,
couldn't move the ball. They need somebody with some juice. Washington needs some juice. They need help for their guy. So I don't think he will fall because he's a bad player at all. I just think that every year at least two of these guys that we think are going to be top 5 picks are going to fall due to circumstance. And him there for the Ravens would be tremendous, I think, for them.
yeah. I like, and then they just got from the
Trey.
Bengals. Yeah, they just got on him from the Bengals or whatnot. So another one, the Texans. You got them taking Denzel Boston. Now they got a lot of big receivers on that team. Like it's like the Twin Towers over there or something. You got Nico Collins. You got Jaden Higgins, my guy from last year. They got Tank Dell's coming back, and who's the other receiver from Arizona from Arizona last year that the Texans got. So they got some guy, Jalen Noel. They got him. You
Yeah.
think they're gonna take Denzel Boston? I thought the Texans could go line or defensive tackle with that pick. I was thinking Caden McDonald, but I see you got him going to Minnesota up there, or like a Peter Wood. I think they could go deep tackle, but I don't see them taking a Denzel Boston. But go ahead.
Yeah, they got plenty of people, but who can they depend on? Like we don't know what Tank Dell is going to be when Tank come back. And I was a huge Tank Dell fan coming out of college. Dude's uncoverable. Like when Tank Dell is healthy, he's uncoverable.
Yeah.
but he suffered the injury that he suffered, and he's also still a guy that's not even 180 pounds.
Mm.
So how long can they really depend on that? Um, Nico Collins, love Nico. Watch Nico his whole career here at Michigan. Nico stay hurt. And I hate to say
Yeah.
it like that, but dude, like Nico tremendous, bro. Like
Yeah.
when Nico on the field, Nico is, 6'4", 220. I can run, I can high point. I'm an athlete out there. But Nico got to stay on the field. Not saying Nico wasn't trying to stay on the field, but Nico got to stay on the field. So if we compare Denzel Boston to the rest of that room, it's like, okay, you like Denzel Boston. So is Denzel Boston from a talent projection wise? Is Denzel Boston better than what the rest of the roster is? Didn't they trade? They traded John Mechie
Yeah.
to the Philadelphia, so they need offensive line help too. But I just look at that offense last year, like damn, like what do people expect? Like it's Jordan with his Schultz out there at tight end, and what else does he consistently have? So they could go in a variety of directions. They could go offensive line.
Dalton Shorts. I just thought about Dalton
Yeah,
Shorts.
Dalton Schultz. Yep, they could go offensive line. They could go wide receiver. They traded for our running back David Montgomery. I don't know what they expect that to be. Honestly, that stop them from drafting a running back? Probably not. I doubt if they draft a running back in the first round. There's only one running back that's worthy of a first round pick this year anyway. So I'm just thinking about getting him somebody that he can consistently depend on. Another wide receiver. That doesn't mean that Boston can't get hurt,
Yeah.
but at that spot, how my draft fell, I just figured, okay, you know what? Get him a big guy that can make some catches, that can make some plays after the catch, and just move on from there.
And one more before I turn up to D to ask a couple, and I'm probably going to steal D's on this one. I can feel it. No KC Concepcion in the first round.
Nope. The catches scare me. The
The
drops
drops.
is really scare me, man. The drops really scare me. Excellent route runner at all. I mean, so honestly, the problem's more. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, excellent route runner, but the drops. And his answer for it, I don't want to, put too much onus on it, but his answer for it was, concentration. That's honesty, but man, you had a decent amount of drops, bro. And the drops he had, it's not like they were difficult catches that he was dropping. They were, come on, bro, you better than that type of drops, you know. So I don't even have with Makai Lemon. I don't have Makai Lemon in the first because I don't think
What?
he's as explosive. Now I have him ranked ahead of KC. But for me, for a wide receiver, man, I got to see some explosion. I got to see some athleticism. I don't put everything in regards to, first round picks being based on physical skill sets, but edge rusher, quarterback, wide receiver, running back are positions where, and cornerback for that matter, are positions where if I'm taking you in the first round, I need to see elite athleticism at that position. And I don't see that from Makai Lemon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. No Makai Lemon in the first round because I feel like he's been regarded as a top 15 picks consistently. But yeah, I like the pick you got us taking. Mats, I can't even pronounce his last name. I ain't gonna even try right now. But I was,
He an
I
anchor.
yeah, I
He
don't
an
know if you,
anchor.
yeah, I don't know if you saw Vrabel working with him, and I know
Yeah.
last year people was that's how he worked with Will Campbell and stuff like that. But like you, like, did you put Mats right there for us before you saw that Vrabel video or after?
No, I never even seen the video.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
No,
interesting then,
I
cause
sat up late last night and did this mock.
okay,
And I'm a Will Campbell guy, man. I was defending Will Campbell all season, but
yeah,
there was nothing about Will that I saw his that year last year to make me say, you know what, I'll pass on a talented tackle like Max because Max is 6'6", 330. He's got all the physical attributes that you're looking for. He plays with a tremendous mean streak. He's a fighter, and whether you want him at left tackle, you want him at right tackle, he's got a little bit of experience, saying as far as both. Even if you feel like ultimately Will Campbell isn't built to play left tackle, Will Campbell is still a hell of an offensive lineman. So whether you want to move him to guard, if you feel like he can be better at center or whatever, which I think is out of the question, but I still believe Will is a good player. And what we saw from him late in the season, that's not him. Because if that was him, we would have saw that shit all season. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. Like the dude got hurt, and when he got hurt, his productivity trailed off tremendously. And the biggest thing I noticed with Will, and whether it's factored into his injury or whatever, Will got to stop going backwards so much. Will got to start meeting dudes at the point and fighting. Because will fight. But
Yeah.
what I see with him so much is he seemed to be more worried about beating guys to the point. And he ends up getting pushed back a lot. Now, what Seattle did to him in the Super Bowl, it happens. That it is what it is. He went against an elite defensive coordinator that knew what his weaknesses was. And Seattle likes to run a lot of stunts. They don't get a lot of edge, pressure off the edge straight up. But they were able to do that against Will Campbell. And for me, that was what was most disheartening to see with Will. Is like Seattle haven't been a straight up, big on big pass rushing team all season. They run a lot of stunts and everything, but against New England, they big on big, just pressing Will Campbell. Like, and I felt bad for Will because like a defense that hasn't done this all season saw you and said, "Yeah, we can do this to you," and that's how it happened. But like I said, I like Max at that spot because I think Max is the best wide receivers are pretty much all off the board.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another tiny wide receiver. I could have gave y'all Makai Lemon or somebody. I don't think y'all need that. I think y'all need a legit guy, whether it's a tight end or it's a wide receiver. You can be a legit wide receiver at 5'10" or whatever, but it ain't that many of them. And most of them dudes are maniacs, like Tyreek Hill and Steve Smith. Those dudes are maniacs with the souls of 6'4" dudes. And those type of small wide receivers don't come along that much. Look at Jimmy Horn Jr. Jimmy Horn Jr., as athletic as Jimmy Horn Jr. is, he's still tiny. And we saw the issues Jimmy Horn had last season from time to time when he was on the field.
Whoa. Okay, I just noticed. When I got out, I don't know if they asked this or not. So you got us going Max at 31. So why not Blake Miller? He's still on the board. And then my second part of that is I want to take it back to the Dolphins. Now, I know you said they are in a complete rebuild. You got them going. Where the Dolphins at? You got Dolphins going Dylan Thyman from Oregon, and then you got them going with a 30th pick, Akeem Messidor. You don't see them going like a wide receiver with one of those picks there?
Nah, because if I'm looking at Miami, I'm trying to figure out if y'all going through a complete rebuild, I want like some of the best talent that's available and guys I feel the strongest about can step in. I understand Akeem Messidor is kind of old by NFL standards,
Yeah.
but he's a guy that can press the pocket
Mm.
for multiple spots on the defensive line. He's a guy that can play. And we saw what he was able to do against top competition at Miami. Now you can say, well, he had Ruben Bain with him. Well, you can also say Ruben Bain had him with him. So is them boys go kind of hand in hand. But I think with those two spots, and listen, I may be alone on this, but and I love Caleb Downs. But if you're comparing Caleb Downs and Thieneman made a lot more plays on the football. Now you can say Caleb is a smarter player. He's a more alert player. He's a guy that can maestro the defense and get everybody in position and think 3 steps ahead. But Thieneman ain't that far behind him at all. I think, Caleb Downs, to his credit, he deserves it. He been getting that pub since he was at Alabama for that year. I just don't think that Thieneman is that far behind. So if you're Miami at that spot, I'm starting to rebuild over with some of the best players I believe can step right in and help me immediately. I can't start a rebuild with a wide receiver. I'm just not, and it depends on how much you believe in Malik Willis. Are y'all playing Malik Willis? Because let's be real, unless Malik has a Pro Bowl type year, they drafting somebody next year. We
Yeah.
already know that. Miami's drafting a quarterback next year. I'm pretty sure he understands that. The writing's on the wall. The NFL, they let you know exactly what's up. We're going to go out. It's a rebuild. We're going to sign a veteran. oh, but we're gonna still draft the quarterback. Don't worry, bro. It's still your job. Knowing it's not really still his job for that long. But yeah, I think they need a lot of help defensively as well as offensively. They made some additions on the offensive line. The offensive line wasn't as bad. I like the running back A Chain over there. They've said for the most part he's untouchable. But I want to get some tangible players. So I went ahead and gave them a safety and gave them a defensive lineman.
I get that. I'm from like, man, they pay Malik all that money, but then they doing him the service by not getting no help, no wide receiver. So I'm
They
like,
traded his help.
they did. That's part of the reboot. But I'm like, dang, who's he doing? Who's his receivers? Man, I think they got. I like Malik Washington, but really, like, come on. But I mean, they need some help there, man. So I just think they doing it. And then I looked at their head coach. I think it was the head coach or GM on the K Adams. They said they're gonna probably get him a wide receiver. I think Mekhi Lim, he looks like a Dolphin to me. I mean, I think he's gonna be a Miami Dolphin. I can see that happening. D questions.
Nah, no. Wait, one more question. I know when I was talking about the Matt's pick, you was relating to Will Campbell. You think Matt's like your mindset, drafting Matt's right there for him to be like a backup plan at left tackle if Will Campbell doesn't work out, or you looking at
Nah,
that as Morgan Moses getting older and the plug Matt saying after Morgan Moses when Morgan Moses leave?
uh, little from column A, little from column B. I just think at that spot too, just trying to protect um, Drake May as much as possible.
Yeah,
And I really like the player. And to get to what Ken was saying about Blake Miller, they both seniors, but I just think that Max is a way better athlete.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
Blake then played a ton of football, bro. So if you're talking about somebody that can step in and probably play from day one, that could be him. That could be Max too. But when we talking about two seniors and you're talking about two guys, 6'5", 6'6", around the same weight, even though Blake Miller is a little bit lighter than Max, but Max just has a higher ceiling to me.
I yeah, I agree with you. I kind of look at that situation as like a Armand Member Will Campbell situation where one was more athletic than other, meaning our member was more athletic than Will Campbell. Because I remember a lot of people saying we should take our member over
Yeah.
Will Campbell last year just because they think he can transition to left tackle because he's an athletic freak. I do think that with Max as well. I think he athletic enough to play on the left side if you give it a go. I mean, it might not be pretty at first, but he's definitely athletic enough to do it. And he's a long, like he got the measurements for just tackle in general, like the arm length and all that stuff. He ain't go. I like that idea, man, especially if Will Campbell doesn't work out. Cause I mean, you don't need to have the longest arms to play right tackle. I feel like it's more important doing it for your quarterback blind side. But I still like Will Campbell at left tackle, but I love the Matt's pick, man. Man,
I I like the Cooper fit with the 49ers. I like that fit, Omar Cooper there in San Francisco. One more thing, Jordan Tyson to the Saints. You think with his medical issues, the Saints will still take him top 10 over Mekhi Lemon?
Yeah. Because he's a better player. And then he's bigger too. Like these scouts still faker. These scouts still favor size and athleticism over a smaller guy who may have been a little bit more productive. I do have medical scares with him too
Mm-hmm.
because he has been hurt a decent amount, but the talent is too much. And when you look at the fact that just look at the Saints last year, they competed tough. Like they was in a lot of games. They played spoiler down the stretch two of the season in some of those games. Tyler Shuck looks like they found their quarterback. But man, regardless of how much defense you play, how well you play defense, how tough you are, how physical you are, how much grit you got, if you can't score, it ain't really worth a damn. Like look at Cleveland, top five defense, scored over 30 points two times in 2 years.
Yeah,
Like, like if you can't score, bro, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So you got to be able to score a few points. I mean, listen, running back could be there for them too.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of Saints content creators that been talking about them getting Jeremiah Love.
Yep. Before
You're not gonna ask me about the guard pick, man.
for
At 6?
and sit nah. Oh, come on, man. We ain't gonna do that.
Why not, man?
For the Brown, I mean the Browns got a lot
I
of
know
needs.
you got questions.
Yeah. The
I
Browns
know you
got a
got
lot of
questions
needs
about it.
too. Browns got a lot of needs too, but I'm like, but listen, that's not the first time I've seen him mock there to Cleveland though. I've seen a couple other mocks with him going there. So and the Browns lost like
Yeah, I
their
think he's
whole
the
offensive
best
line in
offensive
free
lineman in
agency.
the class.
Huh?
Yeah, I think he's the best offensive lineman in the class. If he's
Yeah,
there on the board for y'all at 31, I would take him.
yeah.
Like he's the only offensive lineman in this class that I think is kind of fail proof.
And
Honestly,
The Browns lost like their whole offensive line in free agency. I think they re-signed like one guy, but they lost like their whole offensive
yeah.
line in free agency. Before we get off, give me two players, offense and defense for both of y'all. Before we head off, two players, offense and defense that you think is very they underrated right now, but they're gonna make some plays in the league. They're gonna be in the league for a while. But two underrated players, a lot of people not talking about offense and defense. I'll start first. I'm gonna go Skylar Bell out of UConn. I think he could be pretty good, and I'm gonna go with Denny Dennis Sutton from Penn State, the defense. But I think he could be. I think he could be a pretty good player.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
You can go, bro.
I'll say what's the safety from Penn State? Name Wheatley.
Tyke Wheatley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he'll be a stud in the
He
league,
might be a
especially.
Patriot. He might be a Patriot too. I can see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot of people know about him, but I think people gonna regret passing up on Chris Bell.
I forgot. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stick with two wide receivers. Um, Zachariah Branch, a guy that we were just talking about earlier. Um, Small but explosive as hell, compact built, strong built, a guy that gets open. And you're talking about guys who don't play as fast as they 40 time, or don't play as explosive as they broad jump and they vertical. He ain't one of them. Like him and Makai Lemon are part of the reasons why Jacoby Lane didn't get as many targets because
Yeah.
who was the quarterback's favorite wide receiver?
I forgot Branch
The
was at
dude who
USC.
open. Yeah. The dude who gets open is always the quarterback's favorite wide receiver in those cases. Oh yeah, and then Ted Hurst of Georgia State.
He looks like George Pickens to
Dude
me.
could have. Yeah. It's funny. Steve Smith compared him to Larry Fitzgerald.
I heard that. I don't like that guy.
Yeah, I don't think he has the ball skills of Larry, but he has pretty good ball skills. You're talking about a dude who's 6'3", borderline 200 pounds.
Where you see him
Did
going,
run the
day three
stuff.
or day two?
I think once a run hits on those wide receivers, he can probably go in day two.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come that like once the top guys the projected top guys are gone. Now you're talking about damn, we need a wide receiver. What do we do? Like if you New England and you in the second round, let's say you went offensive line in the first round, or you went defensive playmaker in the first round, whatever y'all decided to do, and you needed a wide receiver in the second round. You got Malachi Fields on the board, you got Zachariah Branch on the board, an explosive guy. You got all these wide receivers on the board. Who would you favor towards
Good point though. But
in the
like, okay,
second group?
with you saying that, what if we know we got AJ Brown coming? You still think we'd probably go wide receiver?
Man, it's a crapshoot depending on these
Trey.
wide receivers. Then once they start getting older, and AJ wasn't separating that much either. But
Right.
AJ just physical and strong as hell. So I don't. It's kind of like, what do what can I really expect from you now? Like I seen you in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of like your early best years. Did the Philadelphia Eagles get the next best years of you? And now moving forward, we got a guy who's on the downside of his career because he's going to be playing with a younger quarterback. He's going, not to say that he's going from Jalen Hurts to Jalen Hurts Jr. because Drake May can actually push the ball down the field. He can throw the ball to every area on the field. But does AJ Brown want to sit down with basically a kid, because he's still a kid by NFL standards, and go through the learning process all over again? Now, he did say he had a pretty good relationship with Vrabel when they were in Tennessee, but Bash gonna say, "I take Branch because you can line
Dodge
dodge on
up
the
on the
other."
outside, let Branch eat in the slot. Yeah.
Yeah, Zachariah Brent's tough too, man. He tough. I like him.
Yeah. Camera having some issues. Walt, man, appreciate it, man. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Of course, if you're looking for Detroit Lions content, which a lot of people outside of the the state of Michigan ain't looking for Lions content like that, but if you are, you can always find it Lions Avenue on YouTube, as well as I do a pro football podcast with Fidel Barraza called This Week in Pro Football. Type it straight in on YouTube. You can also find us on there.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. We definitely have to get you back on, man. 3 weeks from the night, will be the draft. And draft be going on this 3 weeks from the night. It came quick, man. When you in the Super Bowl, it comes real quick. So Walt, appreciate you coming on, man. We're glad to chop it up again, man.
Definitely, man. Thank you for bringing me on. It's been a long time. I've known this man for some years, literally. When people say that, they be lying. Only knew somebody for 6 minutes, but I actually knew this man for a few years. And I want to thank you for bringing me on, man. It's always been a pleasure.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. We'll do it again, man. Really appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Go. Hey, make sure you guys are liking the video, sharing the content. Make sure notifications on when we do go live and whatnot. Make sure they also subscribe to the SLM, man. www.sportslinemedia.com. Go check out the website. Go check out the YouTube over there. Check the boys out. We out, man. Appreciate it, Walt.
Will do.
Yes, sir.